Hey everybody, I'm Jason Belmonte.
I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic.
Destiny was on his side.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it.
And he got it! Who do you think you are?
Hello everybody, welcome back to our third episode of the Bohn N Zano Zone podcast. We've got some exciting stuff today, but first we want to thank Chuck Gardner and Bowl for Life for everything that they're doing for us. And we got some other exciting news, Michael.
Well, first of all, happy 2020 to you, Justin, and happy 2020 to everybody out there. So happy New Year, everybody. We will now exclusively be heard not only just on our YouTube channel, but we've also hooked up with Bowlage.com, BOWLAGE.com. And our
link
friend,
will be in the description below, by the way.
Yep, we will have the link there. And we'll be on Doug's website. He has an awesome site with interesting news and scores and results and events in the area and across the country. So check it out, Bowlage.com, and you can hear us there as well.
So, to start off our day today, we're going to recap the Storm U22 International Junior All-Stars, which is an event me and Brandon competed in over in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, which we came back with some hardware. Brandon came back with the boys under 15 title by just one stick.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I was actually at League when that was going on, so your mom and she was telling me about it, and why don't you tell us how that went down? It was pretty exciting.
So, me, liking to sleep, I planned on going down there, but because of all the jet lag and everything, I didn't get down there until it just got done, and Evan's walking up to me, mind blown. He's like, dude, Brandon might have just won the tournament by a pin. I'm like, what? So yeah, and he explained to me, he was like, well, the kid got up in the 10th frame and 4-pin and needed to make the spare to win, and he missed the 4-pin left on the lane.
So he missed it by a country mile.
If that's what you want to say, Michael.
Well, I missed the 4-pin by a country mile shooting 850, so it's kind of an inside joke.
I'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
So Brandon ended up winning the U15 title by just one pin. As for the other division, the open division, my bowling throughout the week was, physically I threw it well, mentally I bowled well, but I probably bowled 16 squads of qualifying, which, by the way, they're 3-game sets, and your highest 3-game set qualifies you for the finals, and you needed 700 to get in the number, or 702 to be exact, and I was literally one hit away, probably 4 or 5 times from just making the cut.
So you just couldn't you couldn't find that one strike you needed every game.
And it wasn't like it was because I threw it bad. It was just like a break. Like sometimes it'd be a solid 7, ringing 10, solid 9. It was just that one hit every set, and it blew my mind how that happened so many times.
So basically, in a nutshell, you bowled well, you just didn't score well enough.
Right. And then when I got down to the last set that I bowled that I actually qualified in, I bowled a pretty impressive 194, triple, missed a head pin right, 6-3, triple, 3 off the right, 6 on the second shot.
3 off the right?
Yep.
You need a piece of tape or something?
Next shot I went 6-3 again. Then 3, 6, 9, 10 on the 10th, made the spare 194.
So what were you bowling on?
It was a 42-foot pattern with 28 mils, I believe. And that building is pretty tight. Gutter doesn't play. So I was probably somewhere 15 at the arrows.
So you had some surface in your hand.
Yeah, I did. Well, actually, that block I tried something a little different. We were on the burn squad. The way that they do it over there is I think 9 squads a day. If I don't.
How many times did they oil?
So they oil after the 3rd squad of the day, the 5th squad, and then the 7th squad.
Okay.
So I was on one of the burn squads, and I bowled 194, and then I bowled 235 the second game, and was just kind of like going along, just kind of trying to repeat shots the 3rd game. And I got up in the 10th and was like, looked up, like, oh, I need a double in the 10th to get there. And first one, I dead double bounced, but I was far enough right and just kind of like laying it off my hand that it laid there and light mixered. Second one, aced. Dead aced in the hole. Got to 706. At that moment in time, I got to 6th in the mixed pool, and they took 18 in the mixed pool, and I was 7 pins in the number.
Okay.
So if I don't get the second one in the 10th and only get the first one, I don't make the cut. And I was in 6th in the mixed pool. I was 12 spots in the number, and 1 strike in the 10th could have went from 6th to not in at all.
So because you're so talented in everything that you do, one hand or two hand?
It was one-handed.
All right, good for you. One-handed. Look at that.
Thank you.
So did you bowl the whole tournament one-handed, or did you?
No, I tried two-handed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was bad, but it was my carry. My carry in that building hasn't been very good the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's certain buildings across the country that just stink for me too, so I totally get it.
And well, when it came down to the finals, me and Brandon both qualified for the open cut, which was top 46 overall. I was 50 or 60 over after 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the top 12, and they took the top 4 for the stepladder after 10 games. And, well, I ran into some carry issues. All of the right-handers seemed to start left, and it made them extremely impossible.
So they went the other way.
Yeah, they got really tight. It was like this spot would hook, but if you got it anywhere other of it, then it didn't hook. And it was, oh my God.
So let me ask you this then. And I think we talked about this the last time. The level of bowler or youth bowler that's overseas, stronger or lesser than what's here in the States?
I think when you put their best against our best, I think it's a pretty strong fight.
Okay.
I'm going to give you this example. In 2017, at the World Youth Championships in Detroit, Cortez Schenk won the Masters title. A kid from Malaysia finished second.
Okay.
So that just goes to show how good that team is.
Okay, so then let me
and
ask
their
you.
calibers of bowlers.
So then I'm going to ask you this one. So when you're saying that they were playing left to start, is that what they're accustomed to? Meaning they don't know how to break the patterns down the right way? Where here, we all know you start right and then you migrate left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because obviously if you break a pattern down the wrong way, they're going to get really ugly.
Right.
Is that something that they're not privy to, or they don't, I'm not saying they don't know it, but...
I think that they are more talented at playing left. I've seen some videos from some kids over there who bowl in certain centers, and the fronts just hook out of your mind. So you got to start left. Your ball stands up and stops. And so when you see that amount of oil in the middle, you're still going to want to stay left.
No helicopters out there?
No helicopters. No, I did not see one this trip. But
that is pretty cool to see, though.
I did not see one, Michael.
But the helicopter style is pretty neat to watch, though.
It is. But, I mean, overall, it was a huge learning experience. I felt like I bowled well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to hopefully go back again next year.
Were you and your brother the only representatives of the States out there? Or were there other guys from the States?
Yes, we were. We were the only 2 bowlers from the United States to bowl that tournament this year.
Is that odd that that there's not a stronger or more people to go out there, but people will come here to bowl, like the Youth Open that you were talking about? Is that like, why don't they? You know what I mean?
I think part of it is an experience thing, but also in the U.S. we have a lot of events to bowl outside of it. Like certain areas of the country, you bowl 1 or 2 events a weekend.
Yeah. They obviously don't have like a JBT tour or...
No. Like I was talking to one of the kids from Australia, and he said he bowled 12 events. And he bowled 12 events the entire year. And he went to like 10 different countries.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Like I'm talking to some of these kids, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to the Asian Youth or the SEA Games, this, and this. And I'm like, imagine like leaving the country to go bowl.
And you get in the car to drive for 4 hours, and then you're hopping a plane to go across the country.
But they don't have the opportunities to bowl
what we have here.
Right.
It's a pretty neat thing, and that's what makes the game so great. Is It's just so many different opportunities for everybody. Everybody's opportunity is different.
Do I think this is a great tournament for kids in the U.S. to bowl? Depends how you got to look at it. If you're going to take a vacation to go somewhere where you can go bowling as well, this is the perfect place. Because I'm going to be honest, besides the plane tickets, this place is not very expensive to the U.S. eyes. Oh, yeah. Prime example. Cup of Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Big fan of Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Okay. Then you like this one. What are they about? $5?
In the mall, about $5, yeah.
Okay. Cost $1.25 there.
Really?
Yep. So, and that's a lot of things. Like we could get plates of sushi there, like real good sushi.
$3
for like
probably.
Less than $1 a plate.
Really?
In certain stores.
So the cost of living is a lot cheaper there.
Yes.
So the cost of vacation there is cheaper. It's just getting it. The only expense is really getting out there.
The hotel is like a little bit less than a normal hotel, and it's a really nice hotel. I mean, it's.
Do they have everything that we have? I mean, obviously to an extent, but I mean, the global presence and like a McDonald's or like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you've ever been to the Mall of America, this mall that the bowling center, so the 48-lane bowling center where Team Malaysia practices is where the tournament's held.
Okay.
It is in a mall that is 800 stores. That's twice the size of the Mall of America. Also connected, right outside, is Asia's largest water park.
Really? So basically, if you have a bad block, you can just go jump off a slide, basically.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So when you think about it, I mean, there's so much to do. Like, there's probably areas of the mall. We've been there 3 years now.
And you haven't seen everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you go to Las Vegas, you know, many times you go to Vegas, you see everything and they add things, but it's always the same thing. If you go here,
you're not going to get bored.
Yeah. There's always going to be something new and exciting to say.
There's always.
So how long were you there for?
We were there for 10 days.
So 10 days and you still haven't seen everything.
Plus the 2.5 weeks we were there the last 2 years.
And what's it, about 14, 15 hours to get there in the air?
So it is about a 14-hour flight to Tokyo. And then...
So you connect in Tokyo?
We connected in Tokyo on the way there. And then about a 7 or 8 hour flight from Tokyo to Kuala Lumpur.
So basically it's like a full day of traveling. It's a full day in the air.
It was
basically
like 30 or 36 hours from when we left our house to when we got to the hotel.
That's a lot of air travel.
It was a little rough, but
bottom line, worth it? Yes or no?
If you can get around the plane tickets, absolutely.
And that's all that matters. And it's a good experience, and you know you're seeing people from across the globe.
It's such a unique experience that not a lot of people get to see, and I wish more people got to see it because traveling the world and getting to bowl is everybody's dream that wants to bowl. And this is one of those events, especially at a younger age, that is meant for you to go travel the world and go bowl.
You just stamp your passport and live the dream.
Oh my God!
Awesome experience.
But
and that's what's amazing. Like, you know, I won 14 JBT titles, and when I bowled 20 years ago, we never had stuff with international. I mean, I think the furthest we would go was bowl stuff in Virginia or Junior Gold or Akron and Team Master. We never had the opportunity to go bowl overseas unless you were on Junior Team USA. So just it's amazing what's happened, you know, now. So awesome.
Well, that brings us to our second topic of the day. We had Tommy Jones do something pretty exciting at the Bowlero Elite Series. Winner, $100,000.
100 grand.
Also, threw 2 Brunswick balls on the TV show, a Hero and a Melee Jab SE. Is that pretty good? Pretty cool? Pretty neat?
He was the hero that day.
He was. And when I watched him pick up the ball, I was like, that looks like it. Oh, it is.
It is.
It is a Brunswick ball. So I was super excited to see that. I thought that was really cool. And for him to kick off or finish off 2019 with a win throwing 2 Brunswick balls, that's pretty impressive.
That is, and he is part of the Magnificent Seven now. I think that's what they're hashtagging it, the Magnificent Seven.
Is it?
I believe so. Magnificent Seven.
I haven't heard
4
that.
EBI brands, yeah. You might want to check that out. Social Media King.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, but 4 brands plus the 3 with the Brunswick family. So yeah, kudos to Tommy Jones, and you know even with other guys that are still Ebonite guys that have been throwing the Brunswick stuff, a lot of positive stuff, and a lot of scores have been coming out with these guys trying different balls.
I think we said in the last one, Kyle Sherman shot 300 with a jab like within a week.
Correct. And a lot of positive stuff there. But with that being said, how about a new year with new beginnings? A lot of new homes for a lot of bowlers.
Yes, a lot of bowlers signed new contracts.
A lot of people with new companies on their jerseys for the upcoming year. I guess we can throw a couple names out to start.
Go for it.
I'll give you one. You give me one.
Sure.
I'll start with a female. Start with Stephanie Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, she went from EBI to Rotogrip.
She is now a Utah brand person.
I'll give you another one. Another female. Diana Zavyalova.
Going to Storm.
Excuse me if I said that wrong.
Yeah, we apologize, Diana. How about one going back to a brand that he was with for a while? Chris Loschetter.
Went back to Motive. Yes, he did.
Motive.
Another one who went back to went to Motive. AJ Johnson.
AJ Johnson going to Motive as well, and we'll stay on the Motive side. Connor Pickford.
Connor Pickford went back to Motive. Yes, he did.
And Wesley Lowe going to Motive. So a lot of new faces around the industry. And with that being said, they are, I guess, gearing up for the start of the tour, which is on the 13th in Arlington.
Yes, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen on the 2020 PBA Tour. 2019 was an awesome year for professional bowling with everything. I mean, the playoffs, the league, what Belmo did. I mean, just mind-blowing.
There's a lot of good stories from 19, and I'm sure 20 is going to be
and even Fox, better. Too. I think Fox did a great job flow bowling first year. I mean, I got no complaints from 2019.
And let's not forget, the PBA was been purchased by Bowlero. So we have some big things with them. They have some big things coming up this year with Bowlero purchasing the PBA. So I think 2020 is going to be a real good year for everybody in professional bowling. Looking forward to what's going to happen this year.
And for our final topic of the day, we got a question, Mike, don't we?
We do, and
we've been discussing this for a while now, and the time's been brought up.
This is a pretty good one, Justin. So we're going to ask the audience here what they think. With the end of the decade, with everything that Jason Belmonte did from 2010 through 2019, were those 10 years the best 10 years of any athlete for the decade?
Did Jason Belmonte have the best sports individual decade of any sport?
And when we talk about any sport, we're talking about everything. So we can throw LeBron into there. We could throw Serena Williams into there. We could throw Rory McIlroy, the golfer, Roger Federer, tennis player, Steph Curry. We could throw into there. Does Jason Belmonte's name belong in the list of those athletes, of what they did in the decade?
Just a quick little stat for you. We did some math. Jason Belmonte bowled 41 major events, made the show in 24 of them. That's over half, and won 11 of them. So he had a win percentage of over 25% in majors alone.
So basically, 1 in every 4 majors he bowled in, he
won.
He was in the winner's circle.
He bowled 161 events total and cashed in 132 of them. That's an 82% cashing.
That's 82%. So every time he stepped on the lanes, he was basically getting himself a check.
4 out of 5 times.
4 out of 5 times.
Yes, he was.
So, again, LeBron and players like that are on our team are a little bit categorized different because they're in more of a team setting. But when we talk about individual athletes like a Serena Williams or Roger Federer or, any golfer, Rory McIlroy or whatnot, do they warrant, or did they do what Jason did for those 10 years?
I mean, when you think about some as an overall picture, he won the Player of the Year award 5 times out of 10.
You can't argue with that. I mean, the sad part is that bowling doesn't get the recognition and the accolades that the other sports do, golf and tennis and basketball, football, and whatnot. We don't get that publicity, unfortunately. We're very overlooked, and as much as I think he deserves to be in a conversation like that with those other athletes, he's not going to be, just because he doesn't have the publicity and the name that, like I mentioned, Serena Williams or Roger Federer has, and that's the unfortunate situation. But if you broke out the stats of those other players in their respective sports, I don't think there's anybody that puts up the numbers that Jason did in those 10 years.
What he did in our sport in 10 years, you almost make him comparable to a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan ever. I mean, he completely changed our game forever.
You know, everybody said that back in the day, Roth changed the game when, everybody was a nice stroker, down and in, and here comes Mark Roth in the 70s, a cranker, hitting it, hooking the ball. He transformed the game in the 70s to the 80s. Then resin came out, and that changed the game in the 90s. Well, what was the next revolution of bowling? The next revolution was the two-hander, and that was Jason. And honestly, as much as, and Justin will attest to this, I am so anti-two-hander, and a lot of people that know me know that I'm very anti-two-hander. Jason has revolutionized the game more so than anybody or anything in the history of bowling. And he is great for the sport. And the things that he did in those past 10 years are just unbelievable. Weber and Walter Ray, they did what they've done in the majors. It took them 20, 30 years to do that. It took Weber almost 30 years to win 10 majors. It took Belmonte 10 years. 9 years to win. Yeah.
His first major was won in 2011. His second one was won in 2013. So from 2013 to 2019, he won 10 of them.
So just look at it this way. Every time there was a major, he was on the show. I mean, he basically was on the show, or he finished second. How many times did he finish second in a major?
I don't know, but in 2013, he bowled for the title, or he bowled 4 major events and bowled for the title in 3 of them.
That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, the guy doesn't stink. I mean, let's just put it that way. When you look at other sports as well, look at tennis. Guys play the majors all the time. You get picked off here, you lose a match early or whatnot. This guy ran through hundreds of bowlers from across the world, and he just basically said, he rang them up and he sat them down. Like, he never lost in a major. He excelled more in the bigger spotlight, and he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
He has another 15 years to go. And with the way the game is and what he does to the game, he may have 20 majors by the time his career is over. It's unbelievable what he's done and what he's doing. So I definitely would put him into that category of one of the best 10-year stretches for any athlete in any sport.
Yeah, so we want to hear what you guys got to think about that question. But that's been crossing our mind. We've been thinking about this for a while, and just when we put all the numbers up, it's mind-blowing to think about it.
We've been working on this, and we're looking at this like, he made the show in the TSC. Well, then he made the show in the Players the following week, and he won the Masters two months later. Like, no, that can't be right, and it is. He's a fiend. He is an absolute he's a phenomenon, and like I said, as much as I hate the two-handers, he has revolutionized this game. And as bowling is in a slumping state, you could say, he is just a shot of energy in the arm for the sport and for the industry. So kudos to my mate from down under.
And, well, that wraps up our third show, Mike. We talked about Malaysia. We talked about the Bowlero Elite Series with Tommy Jones. Talked about some new staffers' homes. And we talked about Belmo being possibly one of the best athletes of 2010.
We touched on everything, and it was a good show. This is the first one of 2020, with more to come. We're going to be doing this a little more regular, and we will have guests coming on, and we will be a name in the business. So
we had talked about in our last episode our first guest, Matt O'Grady, and Team Trials also being in this episode, but because team trials is actually going on right now. We are going to hold off and have a recap after.
Yeah, scheduling conflicts happen, so nobody's perfect. But we hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope to hear from you guys on the channel. Leave your comments on what you think about Jason's 10-year stretch from 2010 to 2019, and we want to hear what you guys have to say.
So, as for now, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I am Mr. Val.
And this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic.
Destiny was on his side.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And